they wouldn't have bought the company because I wouldn't have taken the position. They don't have anybody in that particular group of investors that would be in position to do this based on experience, whether you would want to do it. I was kind of in a unique position in that most people would have come and taken a look at what was going on 2.5 years ago and the position of the company in terms of losing money, staffing, the whole picture, and they would have said, this is not worth doing. Better to close the whole thing down and just reopen instead of trying to keep this going. Well, basically, Jon and I just continued to do what we were doing when I was just operations. We had leadership meetings weekly. He made himself available to discuss and review and make decisions on things that executive level members have to make. I was really by myself in the beginning to some degree. I had a few staff members, but really there was a huge void in leadership. We've recently solved that problem when we hired our general manager this last April. But I will tell you this, the company, because when we interviewed, his name is Jake Graham. He has a lot of experience in the business, and one of the things that he told me was when I interviewed, everything looked good on paper, which you can sell businesses on paper. It's really what's going on in the back room that makes a difference. And he had asked me if he could have half a day to work with the guys in the back to see exactly what was going on the floor. And so he did that. And that was what solidified his decision to come on board. Was it wasn't a dumpster fire. We got processes, we got the right people, we got flow, we got a lot of the things that in place that if it hadn't have been, he would not have come on board. He's an experienced GM, he's an experienced in the granite business and the countertop cabinet business. So he could very quickly see whether something's running well or not. He has already been there. He said, look, I've already been hired to turn around shops that were dumpster fires. I'm not interested in that. There's no dumpster fires here, so I'm willing to come on board. So again, that didn't happen without Jon. Didn't really have any strong leadership in the beginning. So for the first couple of years, Jon and I are really making all the decisions, and I'm executing on those decisions. It's hard to really share in a way that you might fully understand. I mean, you probably had other clients that you talked to about this kind of environment. There's probably 2 out of 30 people left that started with me 2 years ago. What that means is I didn't have very many people who knew what they were doing well and have had to go through the process of getting 28 people on board that could either learn or be in a position to grow and keep a $10 million operation in the black. Within the first 3 months that I was the operation consultant, the entire shop, well, I say the entire shop, the leadership in the shop, and at least 50% of the shop literally had a revolt. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the big one, and it's probably the most important one. We were able to, now see, the reason it went from losing $50,000 to $100,000 a month to immediately losing that much in February and then January, and when we bought the company in February, being able to stop that immediately is because, Jon was there. We were able, a lot of the cash loss was due to the marketing investments the previous owner was determined to pour into the company. I have experience in running companies with almost non-existent marketing funds. And Jon, I can't remember the term. It's really performance, where your performance is what builds your company. How you do things, what kind of company you are, how you do business, that's what grows your business. Instead of paying business on the front end, we much more prefer performance marketing, and he understands that very well. And so he was able to help us look at what we needed to focus on, the review, getting those 5 stars from a 2.2 to a 4.8. So that's a measurable. Google reviews is very much a measurable that he had a big hand in. See, Jon is not only a consultant with EOS, but he has an accounting background. Here's what you get with John that, again, I don't know if you would count these as measurables, but there are things that if you're in my particular line, my particular business, and I know he does probably other businesses that are not granite cabinets, but the reason that he is so impactful in my business is he's had granite shops. He's run them, he's started them, he's made them profitable. I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time something comes up. He literally already has experienced what I'm experienced. He has the answer because he's already solved it. And that's across the board because he's actually been in the industry, but also on the financial side, he's an accountant and he understands all the financial numbers. Important. I run a small business. It's a general contracting business, 1 to 2 million a year. I basically run that company off checkbook register, right? And I have accountants on that, but I don't need financial reports on that. Not that complex. It's very simple. Well, there's too many nuances. For example, the way you got to calculate what a slab value is based on what you cut out of it, what waste is left, how much you're going to attribute to breakage, all of that all is accounting. It's the physical stuff, but it has to be all those aspects have to be applied in an accounting method and process. Mm-hmm. And he understands that completely. And also, he's a super smart guy. He's a very smart guy. Not only is he a granite guy, a cabinet guy, accountant, but he's a psychologist. He understands personalities. He understands motivations. He can read between the lines. There's not a better person that I've ever met that can interview somebody and really know what that person is about based on the way he interviews. He's super smart. And then he's also just a really, really good guy. I consider him one of my closest friends. He's one of my closest friends that I spend no time with. I mean, he's in other states and we cross paths at conferences and stuff like that. But we already have been talking about wives together, and vacation, and this and that. But it's never been where we've lived in the same city and can do things together, anything. But he's just and also he is an incredible leader in that if he has to take care of business with anybody, he can take care of business. You know what I'm saying? I tease him about this all the time, and he won't mind me saying this, but he's the smartest Jew, the smartest people in the world. For me, he's just a really great guy. He's doing exactly what God created him to do, exactly what I would say, not just me or Southern stuff. He's exactly what every business needs. I don't care what you're doing. If you're a bicycle repair shop, he would help you grow your business, be worth whatever he asks to be paid to help you grow your bicycle repair. If you don't, you're making a bad decision. If you don't hire him right now, every minute you wait on hiring him, you're just putting off the opportunities that he's going to help you bring to the table.